It's tough out there in the wild. One moment you're grabbing a drink, and before you know it, and no matter what species you are, there's always a bigger predator. But the last thing you'd ever expect is to be kidnapped by a baboon. Today, you'll learn why some snakes try to eat themselves, how to paralyze a big bad shark, and why on earth baboons are kidnapping puppy dogs. Think what you will of their scarlet red bottoms. Baboons know how to handle their business against even the scariest of predators. But there's no such thing as too much safety. So every now and then, they go out and recruit a little extra help. The kidnapping is pretty rough at first, but this little puppy ends up becoming adopted and will soon become the baboon family's very own guard dog. It's what scientists call a symbiotic bond. The baboons feed the dogs, or at least help them discover food sources. In exchange, the dogs offer protection against outside predators. Sometimes, they'll even go against their own kind to defend their new baboon families.
What the f?
Keeping pets isn't the only thing humans and baboons have in common. Baboons live in tiny societies known as troops and even follow a fixed schedule. They get up at the same time each day, go about their business, and relax at night before bedtime. And of course, pet their dogs when they get home. But some baboons are cat people. Sort of. Wait, are you seeing what I'm seeing? This ballsy baboon just grabbed himself a lion cub. But it doesn't end well for the baby lion. Baboons sometimes kidnap smaller animals when they have nothing else to eat, making them occasional carnivores. They'll eat almost anything. Baby lions, baby gazelles, you name it. They've even been spotted chewing on the odd flamingo or two. But hunger aside, the real reason baboons kidnap lion cubs is, well, war. Baboons often fall prey to adult lions, but the younger cubs pose no threat to the primate. So, baboons did the math. One less lion cub today equals one less future predator to worry about. And the lions don't exactly make it hard on them either. Lion cubs aren't included in the pride until they're 6 months old. Until then, they're only cared for by one single lioness, which makes them especially vulnerable to kidnapping. One wrong move on the lioness's part, and the next thing she knows, a baboon has carried off her baby.
See you, chump.
If you think lions have it bad, tarantulas have it much worse.
It's a black wasp
Yeah, one of those black. Hurry, take it.
dragging a tarantula. Oh my gosh.
This tarantula's not dead. It's been paralyzed and is now also being kidnapped by a wasp. It's usually spiders who are the ones paralyzing wasps, only to web them up and feed on them later. But not this wasp. Folks, behold the tarantula hawk. No, it's not a tarantula with the magical wings of a hawk. The tarantula hawk is a giant wasp hybrid with one of the most impressive stings in the insect kingdom. Its stinger can not only take out some of the largest spiders on the planet, it can also knock out a human. Tested and proven.
I can't move my arm!
The word hawk in the name is because of how accurate they are at hunting. One study revealed the tarantula hawk only loses one battle in 400 to the spider. 1 in 400.
I am the greatest!
They basically hunt tarantulas like playthings. First, they pretend to get caught in the spider's nest.
Oh no!
Eventually, the hungry spider comes out of its burrow. Now, the hawk shows its true colors, and it's a simple game of poke the spider. But it doesn't end there. You see, tarantula hawks are what you would call vegetarians, and only feed on nectar, like most wasps. But not their babies. Oh no. Remember this guy? The wasp drags the paralyzed tarantula back into its burrow, which is pretty impressive considering the spider weighs 8 times more than the wasp.
That dude is strong.
The wasp then lays an egg inside the spider's abdomen, and voila! Her baby is not only safe, but has something to feed on. That's right, the spider is back up and walking by now, but not for long. For the larva soon hatches and starts feeding on the live tarantula from the inside out. It'll even avoid its vital organs to keep the spider as long as possible. And eventually... Yep, something like that. Being eaten from the inside out is bad enough as it is. But who would be dumb enough to eat themselves alive? Snakes? we're looking at you. You know how we get nervous sometimes and end up chewing on our own nails? Well, it's kind of the same for snakes, except no hands, no feet, no nails.
Well, what else am I supposed to chew on?
Now, snakes aren't actually that dumb. It only happens when they have trouble regulating their own body temperature. See, snakes are known as poikilotherms, which basically means they can't sweat like humans or pant like dogs to cool down their body temperature. So, when it's too hot outside, a snake needs to seek shadow in order to cool down. They're slaves to their climate. So, if there's no shade, the snake gets incredibly hot and incredibly hungry at the same time. And its brain gets so fried, it can potentially mistake its own tail for a prey animal. And well, then this happens. Now, if this ever happens to your pet snake, don't worry. Apparently, all it takes is some hand sanitizer.
Yep, they do not like the taste of hand sanitizer.
But reptiles aren't the only ones overreacting to things. This goat has officially freaked out as well. Folks, behold, the one and only Tennessee fainting goat. Sometimes also referred to as myotonic or stiff-legged goats, these animals have a hereditary condition called myotonia congenita. It's the result of a recessive gene that affects their skeletal muscles. All it takes is for the goat to feel threatened or stressed, and its muscles give in for up to 20 seconds at a time. So they don't actually faint, they're just suddenly paralyzed and fall over. Doesn't look fun either way. Luckily, there's no long-lasting harm, unless of course it's fallen from a height, in which case, well, nature can be tough. Interestingly enough, this condition also affects humans, but unlike these goats, the episode isn't brought on by threats, stress, or from a spook. Guess who else loves a good paralysis? Yeah, sharks. The exact reason is unknown, but this symptom is referred to as tonic immobility and occurs when the sensory pores on sharks' snouts and rays are activated. It also sometimes kicks in when certain sharks are turned upside down. Experts say that they can remain in this state, which is often compared to a trance, for up to 15 minutes straight. Some scientists use it to paralyze sharks on purpose to study the species without getting a hand chewed off. It's unclear why this works so well, but increased reception to this phenomenon in female sharks has led scientists to conclude it could have something to do with mating. So, it's some kind of sensual shark mating ritual massage? There's really no shortage of weird animal mating rituals, but the award has to go to the anglerfish. These fish take the expression, "one body, one soul," quite seriously. During mating season, the much smaller male anglerfish will latch on to the bigger female like a parasite of some sort. But that's not all. The pair will then fuse into one another, blood vessels and all included. Ugh. As for the organs that the male fish no longer needs, they'll simply wither away. Yup, that thing that looks like a skin tag, it's actually the fish's husband. Or ex-husband. You get the point. Consuming your husband is one way to make a baby, or you could have a whole new family raise them entirely. Just take a page out of the Cuckoo Bird Parenting Handbook. The cuckoo bird is on another level of bad parenting. Weirdly enough, instead of building a nice little nest for itself, it lays its eggs in another bird's nest instead, preferably a warbler's. And that's not even the worst of it, because once it's laid its eggs, it leaves them in the care of the bird whose nest it has usurped. And its children are the same kind of natural-born bullies you'd expect. They've even been known to toss the other bird's chicks out of the nest as soon as they hatch. Some way of paying your foster mother back for feeding and protecting you. Well, its name isn't the cuckoo bird for nothing. Still feel bad about your strange habits? Yeah, we hope not, because as you can see, anything that you do, animals do it weirder, especially mating.